They say dogs can sense danger before we do. But what one dog did for his owner on a lonely highway stunned even the rescue team. Caleb was an auto mechanic from Arizona, driving home late one night with his loyal Belgian Malinois, Shadow, sitting in the back seat. The road was empty, the desert silent, and Caleb felt unusually tired after a long shift. He didn't know it yet, but something was terribly wrong. About an hour into the drive, Caleb began feeling sharp chest pain and sudden dizziness. At first he brushed it off, thinking it was exhaustion, but the pain grew worse, fast. He pulled over on the side of the road, breathing hard. Shadow immediately leaned forward, whining, nudging Caleb's shoulder, pacing in the back seat as if he knew something was happening inside Caleb's body. Seconds later, Caleb collapsed against the steering wheel. Shadow panicked, but what he did next was unbelievable. He leapt into the driver's seat, wedged his body under Caleb's arm, and pulled. Again and again. Using every muscle he had, he dragged Caleb halfway out the car door. Caleb was barely conscious, whispering Shadow's name, unable to move. And then it happened. A low rumble, a sudden hiss, a spark from the car's undercarriage. The old vehicle, which Caleb had been meaning to repair for weeks, had developed a fuel leak during the drive. Gasoline was pooling under the engine and catching heat. Shadow sensed it before Caleb ever could. With one more desperate pull, Shadow dragged Caleb several feet away from the vehicle. 5 seconds later, the car burst into flames. The explosion lit up the desert night. Shadow stood over Caleb, barking non-stop, frantic and loud. And that barking saved him twice. Because a long-haul truck driver passing by saw the flashes of light and heard the dog's cries. He stopped, called 911, and ran to help until paramedics arrived. At the hospital, doctors discovered Caleb had suffered a mild heart attack. They told him something chilling. If your dog hadn't gotten you away from that car and gotten help, you wouldn't be here. Later, when Caleb woke up fully, Shadow climbed onto the hospital bed, laid his head on Caleb's chest, and let out a long, shaky sigh, as if he had been holding the world together all night. Caleb wrapped his arms around him and whispered, "You didn't just save my life, you saved my future." Sometimes, the reason we survive is a loyal heart that refuses to let us go.